Welcome to this English story. Here you learn English by listening and relaxing. Just close your eyes, breathe slowly, and enjoy the story. You don't need to understand every word. Just listen, repeat some sentences, and let your ears get used to English every day. With every story, your vocabulary grows, your listening becomes stronger, and speaking becomes easier. Remember, slow progress is still progress, and every minute you listen is a step forward. Now, get comfortable, focus on the sounds, and let's start today's story in English.
The Midnight Bookstore, Chapter 6, Sector 4. The morning sun was fully up, painting the city in shades of amber and gold. Run-down historic buildings suddenly looked alive under the bright sky. Mark and Sarah sat in a small, quiet cafe just across the street from the park. The steam from their coffee cups rose lazily into the air, blending with the peaceful atmosphere. Between them on the wooden table lay the brass compass key and the old canvas map. Mark was tracing a line with his finger, looking intensely at the area labeled Sector 4. According to the blueprint, Mark said, his voice low and calm, Sector 4 isn't just a room. It's an intersection where 3 different underground tunnels meet, and based on my architectural calculations, it lies directly beneath the Grand Central Library. Sarah took a slow sip of her coffee, her eyes reflecting the excitement of the hunt. The Central Library? That building is practically a fortress. It has security guards, cameras, and hundreds of visitors during the day. How are we supposed to look for a secret vault in a public place? The Conversation, Part 6. Mark leaned forward, adjusting his glasses. We don't do it during the day. There, the library has a restricted archive section in the basement. It houses rare manuscripts and historical records. As an architect, I can request permission to examine the building's historical foundations for a research project. That gives us a legitimate reason to be there. Sarah smiled, clearly impressed by his strategy. That's actually quite brilliant. Mark, you look the part. An intellectual architect doing research. No one would suspect a thing. But what about me? I can't just follow you around with a camera. You will be my research assistant, Mark said, offering a warm, reassuring smile. You'll carry the reference books, and more importantly, you'll use your keen eye to look for structural anomalies in the walls, things that a regular researcher might miss. Sarah nodded, her confidence returning. All right, I like the sound of that. Research assistant Sarah has a nice ring to it. But tell me, Mark, what do you think is inside this vault? Arthur's note mentioned an inheritance. Do you think it's gold or documents? Mark looked down at the brass key. The Pendleton family didn't just have wealth. They had secrets. Arthur was an explorer who mapped uncharted territories. I suspect whatever is in that vault, it's something that could change our understanding of the city's history. Perhaps even something he died trying to protect. Sarah shivered slightly, though she tried to hide it. That sounds incredibly fascinating, yet slightly terrifying. When do we start? The library archives open at noon. Mark checked his watch. We have a few hours to prepare. We need to get our cover story straight and make sure we don't look like 2 people who spent the entire night exploring abandoned tunnels. Sarah laughed softly. Good point. I definitely need a fresh change of clothes. And perhaps another espresso. Let's meet at the library steps at exactly 12 o'clock. Standing before the gates. At noon. The sun was high, casting short, sharp shadows on the marble steps of the Grand Central Library. The building was magnificent, with massive Corinthian columns and stone lions guarding the entrance. Mark stood by the doors, wearing a sharp blazer and carrying a leather briefcase. He looked calm, composed, a perfect picture of professionalism. A moment later, Sarah arrived, looking refreshed, her hair tied back, carrying a neat notepad instead of her usual large camera. "How do I look?" she whispered as she approached. "Perfect," Mark whispered back. "Remember, stay calm. Let me do the talking, and keep your eyes open." They walked through the heavy glass doors, stepping into the cool, quiet interior of the library. The journey to Sector 4 was about to begin. The Midnight Bookstore. Chapter 7. The Silent Archive. The Grand Central Library was a sanctuary of silence. The only sounds were the distant, faint rustling of turning pages and the soft chime of the grandfather clock in the main hall. Mark and Sarah walked across the polished marble floor, their footsteps muffled by thick, dark green carpets. They approached the reception desk, where an elderly librarian with silver hair and wire-rimmed glasses was typing slowly on a computer. Her name tag read, "Miss Margaret." Mark cleared his throat gently, offering a polite, professional smile. "Good afternoon, Miss Margaret. My name is Mark. I am an architect conducting a structural research project on the historical foundations of public buildings in the district, and this is my research assistant. Here, we requested authorization to access the lower archive levels." The conversation. Part 7. Miss Margaret looked up. Squinting through her glasses, she looked at Mark's sharp blazer, then at Sarah's neat notepad. Yes, the architecture department. I believe the director left a note about your visit, but you do realize the lower archives are not open to the general public? The documents down there are extremely fragile. We are fully aware of that, Miss Margaret, Mark replied, keeping his voice smooth and respectful. We treat historical structures with the utmost care. Our focus is strictly on the late 19th century brickwork and the vaulting system. We won't disturb any of the manuscript collections, I assure you. Miss Margaret sighed softly, reaching for a heavy iron ring holding several keys. Very well, but I must remind you, there is no cellular service down there, and the lighting is quite dim. You have exactly 2 hours before the afternoon shift changes. I expect you to return the security badge on time. Understood. And thank you for your cooperation, Sarah added, speaking with perfect professional courtesy. We will be very efficient. The librarian handed Mark a heavy laminated security card. Take the elevator to the basement level, then follow the corridor to the door marked Archive Room B. That is as far as your clearance goes. Do not wander into the old maintenance tunnels. Mark and Sarah exchanged a quick, subtle glance. The old maintenance tunnels. That was exactly where they needed to go. Beneath the knowledge. The elevator ride was short and silent. When the doors slid open, the atmosphere changed instantly. The air was cooler, smelling of old leather, dust, and heavy timber. Rows of metal shelves stretched out, packed with massive leather-bound ledger books and architectural blueprints from the previous century. Sarah waited until the elevator doors closed completely. then let out a deep breath. Wow! You handled that perfectly, Mark. For a second, I thought she was going to turn us away. In these situations, confidence and courtesy are your best tools, Mark whispered. Looking around the room, people respect professionalism. Now, we need to find Sector 4. According to our map, the entrance to the old Pendleton Tunnel is hidden behind the structural wall of Archive Room B. They walked down the narrow aisles, the overhead fluorescent lights flickering slightly. The silence here was different from the main library. It felt heavy, forgotten. Sarah stopped in front of a solid brick wall at the very back of the room. She pulled out her camera, taking a few close-up shots of the mortar. Mark, look at this brickwork. The bricks on the left are standard red clay, but the section on the right uses the same dark limestone we saw in the watchmaker's tunnel. Mark walked over, running his fingers across the cold, rough stone. You have an incredible eye. There, this is a false wall, built later to hide the original passage. Look down here. Near the base of the limestone wall, hidden behind a stack of old empty wooden boxes, was a small, circular indentation in the stone. It was the exact size and shape of the compass handle on the brass key they had found at dawn. Mark reached into his pocket, his fingers wrapping around the cold brass key. They were standing right on the edge of Sector 4. The Midnight Bookstore. Chapter 8. The False Wall. The dim, flickering light of the basement archive cast long shadows against the limestone blocks. Mark held the brass compass key, his hand steady, but his mind racing. He looked back toward the heavy wooden door of Archive Room B, listening for any sound of Miss Margaret or a security guard. Everything remained perfectly silent. He knelt down behind the stack of empty wooden boxes, aligning the intricate handle of the key with the circular indentation in the wall. It fit perfectly, like a missing puzzle piece returning home after 100 years. Are you ready? Mark whispered, looking up at Sarah. Sarah nodded, holding her notepad tightly against her chest. As ready as I'll ever be. Let's see what Arthur Pendleton was hiding. The Conversation. Part 8. Mark turned the key to the right, expecting a smooth movement. He was surprised when the key stuck. Refusing to budge, he applied a bit more pressure, but the ancient mechanism felt completely frozen. It's not turning, Mark muttered, a hint of frustration creeping into his calm voice. The internal tumblers must be jammed with dust or rust. If I force it too hard, the brass might snap, and we'll be locked out forever. Sarah knelt down beside him, examining the keyhole with her phone's flashlight. Don't panic, Mark. Remember what you said about structural logic. This wall uses dark limestone, which absorbs moisture. Over a century, the damp air down here must have caused the iron pins inside the lock to oxidize. You're right, Mark said, taking a deep breath to regain his composure. Oxidization. We need a lubricant, or a way to loosen the pins, but we don't exactly have a toolbox with us. Sarah smiled, reaching into her small shoulder bag. We don't have a toolbox, but we have something that might work. My camera gear kit. I always carry a small bottle of synthetic oil for my camera lenses and moving parts. It's incredibly thin and highly effective at penetrating tight spaces. Sarah, you are full of surprises, Mark said, his eyes lighting up with hope. She handed him the tiny bottle with a precision nozzle. Mark carefully dropped a few drops of the clear oil into the keyhole, letting it seep deep into the ancient mechanism. They waited in silence for a tense 60 seconds, listening to the quiet tick of the library clock upstairs. "All right, let's try it again," Mark whispered. He gripped the compass-shaped handle once more, gently twisting it back and forth. Suddenly, with a soft, satisfying click, the mechanism relented. The key turned fully to the right, opening Sector 4, deep within the wall. A heavy mechanical thud resonated. The limestone panel didn't swing open like a door. Instead, it slid smoothly backward by a few inches, and then rolled to the left, revealing a dark, narrow vertical opening just wide enough for a person to squeeze through. A sudden rush of cool, stale air came from the hidden passage, smelling of old earth and ancient secrets. Sarah peered into the darkness, her flashlight illuminating a flight of narrow, spiral stone stairs leading down even deeper into the earth. "This must be the intersection. Sector 4. Look at the masonry work here," Mark murmured, pointing his light at the archway inside. "This confirms it. It links directly to the watchmaker's tunnel we explored earlier. It's a complete subterranean network." Sarah checked the time on her phone. "Mark, we've used 45 minutes of our 2-hour clearance. Miss Margaret expects us back upstairs in an hour. If we go down there now, we might run out of time. What's the plan?" Mark looked into the dark tunnel, then back at the heavy key in his hand. "We can't stop now. There, we've come too far. We will go down, find the coordinates of the vault, and map the exit. If we are quick, we can make it back before anyone notices our absence. But we must move with absolute precision. Lead the way, Mr. Architect," Sarah said, stepping into the hidden opening behind him. The false limestone wall slowly rolled back into place behind them, shutting out the dim light of the archive and leaving them alone with the mysteries of the past. The Midnight Bookstore. Chapter 9. The Spiral Staircase. The darkness inside the spiral staircase was absolute. The limestone wall had closed behind them with a soft, final thud, sealing them away from the library archive. Mark and Sarah moved down slowly, one step at a time. The stone steps were narrow, slick with a thin layer of moisture, and curved sharply around a central pillar. Mark kept his flashlight pointed downward, illuminating the path. "Watch your head, Sarah," he whispered, his voice bouncing off the damp stone walls. "The ceiling drops low here. The structural support is ancient." "I'm watching," Sarah replied, her hand gripping the rough wall for balance. "Though I must admit, my heart is beating a bit faster than usual. The air down here feels heavy, like it hasn't moved in a century." The Conversation. Part 9. They reached the bottom of the staircase, and the narrow steps opened up into a spectacular circular chamber. 3 identical, arched tunnels stretched out from the chamber, leading into the deep darkness in different directions. Sarah shone her light around the circular space. "Wow, look at this place. It looks like a subterranean crossroads." "Mark, which tunnel is the right one?" "They all look exactly the same." Mark pulled the old canvas map from his briefcase, spreading it out under his flashlight. "Let's analyze the layout. This is the intersection of Sector 4, according to the map symbols. The tunnel on the left leads back toward the river port. The tunnel in the center goes toward the old Pendleton Manor. But the tunnel on the right, it has a small engraving of a shield. A shield? Sarah stepped closer, looking at the faded ink on the canvas. What does the shield represent? In 19th century architecture, families often used their crest or coat of arms to mark private structures, like private banks or personal vaults, Mark explained, his finger pointing to the right archway. The shield is the key. The vault must be at the end of that corridor. Sarah checked her phone, her brow furrowing. Mark, we have exactly 25 minutes left before our library clearance expires. If Miss Margaret realizes we aren't in Archive Room B, she will call security. We don't have enough time to explore the entire tunnel and make it back. Mark looked down the right tunnel, a look of intense determination in his eyes. We don't need to explore the whole thing today. There, we just need to verify that this path is clear and locate the entrance of the vault. Look at the floor. There are no footprints here. We are the first people to stand in this room in over 100 years. We can't turn back now. Sarah sighed. But a small, adventurous smile appeared on her face. You are incredibly stubborn. You know that? Fine. Let's do a quick reconnaissance. We walk for exactly 5 minutes. If we don't find the vault, we turn around. Deal? Deal. Mark agreed, offering a grateful nod. 5 minutes. Fast pace. Let's go. The iron gate. They stepped into the right tunnel, moving quickly. The air here was drier, and the stone walls were lined with old, rusted iron brackets that once held lanterns. The tunnel was perfectly straight, showing the incredible engineering skill of the past. Exactly 4 minutes into their walk, the tunnel ended abruptly. Blocking their path was a massive, floor-to-ceiling iron gate, reinforced with heavy steel bars. Behind the gate, the flashlight beam revealed a small stone room. In the center of that room sat a large black iron safe, with a massive circular vault door. We found it, Sarah whispered, her voice filled with awe. The Pendleton Vault. Mark approached the iron gate, shining his light on the central lock mechanism. It was enormous, with 3 separate keyholes arranged in a triangle. He reached into his pocket and touched the brass compass key. We have a problem, Sarah, Mark said softly, his voice echoing in the silent chamber. This gate requires 3 different keys to open, and we only have one. The Midnight Bookstore. Chapter 10. The 3 Keys. The massive iron gate stood between them and the mysterious safe, a silent guardian of secrets from a bygone era. Mark shone his light on the 3 keyholes, each one surrounded by an intricate engraving of a different symbol: a compass rose, a balance scale, and an open book. He looked down at the brass key in his hand. Its handle was shaped like a compass rose. It belonged to the top keyhole. 3 keys, Sarah murmured, stepping closer to the bars. Arthur Pendleton didn't want just anyone opening this vault. He must have trusted 3 different people with his secret. But who held the other 2? The Conversation. Part 10. Mark looked at the symbols carefully, his architectural brain analyzing the historical context. Think about it. There, the compass represents exploration. That was Arthur's key, the open book. Where did we find the first letter? Inside an old book at the Archive of Forgotten Dreams, Eleanor's bookstore. Sarah's eyes widened in realization. Of course. Eleanor. Her family has kept that bookstore for generations. She might hold the second key. The key of the book. But what about the third symbol? The balance scale? That's a universal symbol for justice, law, or a court, or a prominent lawyer. Mark added, the Pendleton family had legal advisors who managed their estate after Arthur vanished. We need to search the city's historical archives to find out which law firm handled their assets in 1904. That's where the third key must be. Sarah checked her watch, a sudden look of panic on her face. Mark, we have exactly 7 minutes left before our clearance expires. We need to get out of here right now. If Miss Margaret catches us coming out of a hidden tunnel, this adventure is over before we can even look for the other keys. You're right, Mark said, slipping his key back into his pocket. We have the information we need. We know where the vault is. And we know what we need to find. Let's move fast. The escape to the light. They turned back, running silently through the long limestone tunnel, past the circular crossroads of Sector 4, and up the narrow, spiral stone staircase. Every step felt heavier as their time ticked away. When they reached the top of the stairs, Mark placed the compass key into the internal lock. With a soft, mechanical whir, the false limestone wall rolled back, revealing the dim, safe environment of Archive Room B. They stepped through quickly, and Mark pushed the stack of empty wooden boxes back into place, hiding the mechanism once more. He checked his clothes, brushed some dust off his blazer. While Sarah neatly adjusted her notepad, the elevator doors down the hall chimed softly. Just as they stepped out of Room B, Miss Margaret walked down the aisle, her silver hair gleaming under the fluorescent lights. Ah, there you are, the librarian said, squinting through her glasses. Time is up. I was just coming to check on your progress. Did you find the structural information you were looking for? Mark offered his most charming professional smile, handing back the security badge. Yes, Miss Margaret, we found exactly what we needed. The foundations of this building are truly remarkable, a testament to the master builders of the past. Thank you so much for your assistance. Miss Margaret nodded slowly, seemingly pleased with his respect. Excellent. I'm glad the library could be of service to your research. Have a good afternoon, young man. Thank you. You too, Sarah added, holding back a breath of pure relief. The promise of tomorrow. A few minutes later, they walked out through the heavy glass doors of the Grand Library, stepping into the warm, bright afternoon air. The city was bustling with traffic and people, completely unaware of the ancient network hidden beneath their feet. They walked down the marble steps together, stopping by the stone lions at the entrance. That was incredibly close. Sarah laughed softly, her shoulders relaxing. My heart is still racing. But we did it. Mark, we know the secrets of Sector 4. Mark looked back at the grand building, then at Sarah. This is just the beginning. There, tonight, we go back to the archive of forgotten dreams. We need to show Eleanor the map and see if she holds the key of the book. Sarah smiled, a look of absolute determination in her eyes. I'll see you at midnight, Mr. Architect. Don't be late. They walked in opposite directions, disappearing into the crowds of the city. The sun was high, but for Mark and Sarah, the true journey would always begin when the city went to sleep, under the quiet stars, where the past was waiting to be unlocked.
If you enjoy these English audio stories, support the channel with a like and follow for new content every week. إذا أعجبك هذا النوع من القصص الصوتية لتعلم الإنجليزية، ادعمني بالإعجاب والمتابعة لمحتوى جديد كل أسبوع.